Hello there. My name is Otto Sanchez. I am your course professor for the new course, HLSC 2460 Pathophysiology 1. I want to welcome you to the course. I'm looking forward to working with you. There's over 200 of you, so I'm really looking forward to working with you during this time. First of all, I want to tell you, I want to do this very brief course introduction to tell you a couple of things. First, to tell you a bit about the content of the course, what pathophysiology is and what it isn't. And then I will tell you a bit about the course structure and how we will be working together. And then at the end, I will give you some tips for success, because my goal is that you will all succeed in the course. So first of all, a bit about me. I'm the professor here at the Faculty of Health Sciences at UIT. I've been here from the very beginning of the university, and I created this course in 2005 or 6, and I love teaching this course. So I hope that during the course, not only you will also see how useful pathophysiology is, but as the main aim of the course is that you will learn pathophysiology, but also that you will be able to apply it to become a better clinician. So that's the goal of the course. So first of all, I want to tell you a bit what pathophysiology is. So of course, as you see from the slide, the terminology means suffering, and that doesn't mean that you will suffer through the course. It just means that we're talking about altered physiology that causes suffering in humans. So we're talking about human disease. So basically, pathophysiology is the study of human disease, all the diseases that we have, and then of how and why they occur. Of course, as you see in the bottom of the slide, this course requires as a fundamental anatomy and physiology. So because basically in pathophysiology we say how you learned in anatomy and physiology how the body works and what the structure of the body is. Now we say what can go wrong. You know, like what goes wrong in the physiology or in the anatomy to cause disease. And that's why you see that pathophysiology always is asking, how can the human body functions be altered and cause disease? And that's the major essence of pathophysiology, how and why the normal physiology was not able to cope with whatever challenge occurred to cause and ended up in disease. So in a more broader way, there are different pathophysiological stages of human disease. So you know that when we get sick, that is what is called clinical disease. And you see that in the third box on the left. That's clinical disease. So when I get fever, headaches, pain because of the disease, that's clinical disease. But when we study pathophysiology, we know that that disease started way before, that all the biological and pathophysiological events happened before, and those are called the preclinical stages. And that's what we study in pathophysiology. So basically we study how did a healthy person transitioned into developing a disease before that disease became clinically evident, before the disease was diagnosed. So all the questions that you see on the right are questions that we will be asking in pathophysiology. So what caused the disease? How did it develop? What went wrong? How did it progress before illness, a clinical illness occurred? How does it manifest? And could lab tests detect it before it was clinically evident? So that's all the preclinical stages. And then once we get the disease, then of course the first question is, am I going to require treatment? Is this going to get worse? And that's what is called complications. And in pathophysiology, we also study those complications. So we ask questions like, can the disease get worse? Can the disease cause permanent damage? How could a person die from this disease? And then those are called the complications. So pathophysiology includes all those preclinical stages of the disease and also the disease and its complications. Okay, now that you understand what pathophysiology is a bit more, then I will tell you about the structure of the course. Because as I told you, as I think that you know, I will be fortunate to work with you during 2 semesters. So basically, we will do Pathophysiology 1 in the fall of 2016 and Pathophysiology 2 in the winter of 2017. So, and for me, this is really a privilege, because then I will see you for the first time in September, and then I see your learning growth and in April you will be amazed at what kind of at your knowledge and skills in pathophysiology. So I will be able to witness your growth and support you through it. So as you see, it's basically 2 semesters of 12 weeks, 12, 13 weeks each. And then in Pathophysiology 1, we will cover one set of topics that will build into Pathophysiology 2. So basically what you're building now in Patho 1 with me, the benefits, you will really see them at the end in December 2016, but also in the winter course. So then any work that you put into this course will really help you for the whole year. And then basically what you see is that we will go through a lot of systems, and we will also go through a lot of general concepts. So if you look at, for example, at Patho 1 on the left column, you see that the first 8 weeks cover what is called general concepts of pathophysiology. So the big themes, so inflammation, immunity, stress, cancer, altered cell biology, cellular environmental alterations. So those are the fundamental concepts that will be applied then to all the systems. So basically after that, they will be applied starting in the 9th week. Will be applied to the neurological systems, because, for example, in the neurological system, we will see infections, tumors, cellular environmental alterations. So everything that you learn in the first 2 months we will apply then into every single system of the human body. So it's wonderful, because you will see how it all applies, and I'll be able to always relate to, as we progress through the course, always relate to previous stages of the course. Okay, now how will we actually work in a weekly basis? This is a course that is called a hybrid or blended course format. So basically what that means is that half of the course content, or roughly half of the course content, is delivered online, and the other half is delivered in class, in face-to-face. So, and then this is a wonderful format that I've been using from the very beginning, and what I've tried to do is do in the online format, do the things that deliver the content that you can study on your own with your schedule when you're ready to do it. And then after that, that'll be complemented with class time. In the class time, I will try to do a lot more things that will be that will try to be more interactive, and that are better done face-to-face. So if you see the main components of the course are the online lectures. The online lectures are basically a PowerPoint slide presentation that is about 25 to 30 slides every week, and beside it, and also an MP3 audio. Now the audio is about, I try to keep it 45 minutes to 1 hour maximum, and then so that you can actually download the MP3 into your cell phone, and then listen to it at any time. My only advice is do not listen to it while you're driving, because you might get distracted. And then so don't do that. But then aside from that, listen to it at your own convenience. So then those PowerPoint slides will contain course content that will closely follow the 2014 textbook. I'll talk about the textbook in a second. But then the textbook is very important because it's a very updated, beautiful textbook that will be a very good resource for you even after you graduate as a nurse or as a med lab technologist. So then you will be so I will follow very closely the textbook, but I will not cover everything that is on the textbook. I will select what I think that are the most important common topics, and then I will emphasize those. So the PowerPoints really will be my own selection of what I think is critical for the course. And then the textbook is for you to validate that information that I'm giving you. I will post those online lectures every Friday. By every Friday afternoon, or evening, hopefully afternoon, then you will have the MP3 and the PowerPoint posted in Blackboard. And I will send you an announcement to remind you of that. Then you will have roughly 5 days to listen to that. And then we will meet on a face-to-face class in UP 1500, on Thursdays at 5 o'clock. So we'll meet there. That's a big classroom, and there's 200 of you. And then what I will do at that time is first ask you what were the gaps in the online lectures. So what were the things that I explained in the online lectures that were not clear? And then I will explain them again. And then after that, we will do clinical applications of pathophysiology sessions. So I call them CAPS. So basically what we will do is bring clinical case studies or bring applications to real life of the concepts that I discussed online. Now, this is the structure of the course. This is in more detail. As you can see, all the weeks. So if you go from left to right, you see all the weeks. And then what you can see is that on Thursdays on the class, we will do the clinical applications. So for example, and then on the preceding Friday, I will post the online lecture. So take a look at, for example, the first week. The first week, there's no class. So the first class will be September 15th. So, but in the first week, I will have posted altered cell biology. So then you will listen to that anytime between September 9 and September 15th. You will listen to that and then learn from that content. And then after that, in class, I will talk about cervical cancer that applies directly to what I talked about in the altered cell biology lecture. Take a look, for example, at the week 4. In week 4, on the Friday, I will post a lecture on inflammation and immunity alterations. And then the following Thursday, I will talk about AIDS. So it'll be an application of that. So every topic, every online lecture will be followed the next week by an application of that. So that's why I really want to emphasize to you that you listen to those online lectures between Friday and Thursday, so that you are comfortable with the material and so that you have enough questions, right? So that you can ask me questions during class. I have listed also the book chapters there, and those are the book chapters that I will look at, looking at the content, and I will talk about the in-class evaluation. So there will be 2 midterms and a final exam. They are the dates, so book those dates off so that you come to class ready for those exams. So it'll be October 13th, November 10th, the 2 midterm exams that I call knowledge quests, and then the final exam on the final exam period. This is how you will demonstrate your success. First, as I told you in the table on the left, those are the 2 knowledge quests. So basically they will be all exams based on multiple choice questions. Each one of them will be 30% of your final mark. Those are the dates, and I have already posted there what the content will cover, like weeks 1 to 5, for example, will be covered in Knowledge Quest 1, week 6 to 9, Knowledge Quest 2, and everything, all the weeks in the final exam. Now, as you can see there, as I mentioned, the test will include multiple choice questions of the online lectures and everything discussed during CAPS. So it is very important for me that you come to class. You come to class because everything that we discuss in class, any questions that you ask, anything that's your chance to really study, to really understand everything that was discussed, and that will all be included in the exam. The picture on the right is very meaningful to me because it reflects a bit of how I see you, each one of you in the course. I always see myself as seeing each one of you as a star. Each one of you shines in a different way. Some of you will shine brighter in pathophysiology courses than others. Some of you shine more in other courses than others. But you are all stars. You're a very small percentage of the Canadian population that comes to university. You're already in 2nd year, so you're already succeeding in the university environment. And I take advantage of that because I see myself as this amazing telescope that takes a look at you, and I want to discover how you shine, how you shine the best. And if you are not shining well in the course, then you have to contact me, and then you have to tell me this is what I'm not doing well, and then I will be able to help you. I want to make sure that you all succeed. Okay, the final things are your resources. Of course, there are many resources, and you have to look for those resources, and some of you will find ones more useful than others. The textbook is a very important tool because the textbook is a good investment because it'll be the same textbook for Patho 1 and Patho 2. So I will note that. Now the textbook it's a very comprehensive textbook. It has a study guide that some students find very useful. And then, as I mentioned, I will use very closely the textbook. And then I will ask you that when I review a topic in the online lecture, that you go to the textbook and read that specific area about that particular disease, so that you confirm what I said, or so that you read a different version of what I said. So that, because basically listening to the same story about asthma, for example, from me and from the textbook will really allow you to make a more mature concept, to get develop a more mature concept about asthma. Now, but there are, in this high-tech environment, we are all connected online. So make sure that you use the online discussion board in Blackboard to ask questions. Don't be shy. You know, even if they seem like very simple questions, we will all be there listening to each other. I find that students help each other very well. So then make sure that you build like a learning community with the Blackboard. We will have also 2 teaching assistants that will be very useful, and I will explain a bit more what the roles are within the course and how can they support you. And I will be supporting you. I'm your biggest supporter. I really will love meeting you and helping you. I have set up office hours before class. So then basically, because our class is from 5 to 6:30, I have set up from 3:30 to 5 o'clock to meet any one of you that wants to come to my office in U8 2008. Okay, the final 2 slides are about tips. So this is recommended steps to study pathophysiology. So basically, my hope is that every week you will assign some time to work on this course. And those will be the steps that you can follow. First, listen to the online lecture. Then second, read in the textbook only the topics discussed in the online lectures. Don't read the whole chapter. Read only the topics that I discuss in the online lecture. Third, summarize your notes between the online lectures and the textbook. Then fourth, then come to class to complement your notes with what I say in class and to learn about the clinical applications. Then in class or in the discussion board, ask any unclear concepts. And then before the test, review your notes, because that has been the strategy that the most successful students in my course in the past have used. So that's why it really works. As long as consistency really pays, because if you keep doing this every week, you will see how amazingly you're growing. Now, some tips for success. First, if you want to check if you're ready for the test, how do you know that you're ready for the test? So what many students have done in my course is they print the PowerPoint slides without their notes. Without the notes, you try to explain each slide to yourself, because there will be questions about each slide. And then the slides that you were able to explain, you discard. The slides that you were not able to explain, then you read the notes again, and then you're able to repeat this exercise until you're able to explain everything, because really all the tests will be based on that material. Now, the second, consult and study with your classmates, teaching assistants, and professors. So basically, use all the resources that I told you about before. Do not fall behind on your weekly study of online lectures and classes. That's the most important thing. Consistency in this course really pays off. And then finally, attend the classes. Please come to class, because I promise that I'll make it productive and fun, so that in that 1.5 hours, it will really make a difference to your success. So attend the classes to clarify concepts and learn about the clinical applications. And finally, have fun. Pathophysiology is a beautiful topic. It'll make you a better clinician. It'll give you a lot of tools to succeed not only in the course, but also as a nurse or as a medical lab technologist. And I will see you in the first class on September 15th. I look forward to it. Bye-bye.